Okay, so we're in 1.9 and we are doing RSG number 9. And the directions are each of the given tables represents a geometric sequence. Find the missing terms in the sequence and then create an explicit and recursive equation and then show your method. So without them telling me that this is a geometric sequence, I would have like this could actually represent an arithmetic sequence, and it could even represent a sequence that is neither geometric or arithmetic. But they give me directions and said, hey, this is geometric. Now find everything. Okay, so the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to remind myself this is a geometric sequence. Okay, and because it's a geometric sequence, right? Because it's a geometric sequence, hold on a second. Because this is a geometric sequence, I'm really looking at, hold on, I'm just making sure it's, okay, it is. Okay, I'm really looking at what are the explicit equation, what's the recursive equation, and what are these missing terms, okay? So reminding you that geometric means we're gonna be multiplying. So here, dot, 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 this means to multiply. So now I'm looking for the multiplier that goes from here to here and then from here to here, and it'll give me 108. And if you look at what we were doing earlier, because this is a multiplication, I am going to actually divide to figure out my common ratio. So very first thing is, so my common ratio, I'm going to divide. So I'm going to divide 108 divided by 3. And so if you do 108, and I'm going to use my handy dandy calculator because I just want to make sure that I get this right. 108 divided by 3 is 36. Okay, so if you notice, there's going to be, like, if you think about this skipping, this would be times 36. But notice here, I have 2 jumps to make here and here, which would be the same number. So in my brain, I'm trying to think about what number would I multiply here by and here by to get me, oops, I wrote my answer. I'm sorry, pretend you didn't see that. To get that 36. So I'm trying to think of what times what, that same what, would give me 36. And of course, right now it's 6. So I went 6 times 6. Oh, that gives me 36 because I had 2 jumps. So the equation that's in my head is what to the what gives me 36. And because I had 2 jumps, because I had 2 jumps, then that means I was looking for something squared equals to 36. And of course it's 6. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to multiply out and see if this actually works. So 3 times 6 is 18. And again, wanting to multiply, and I don't want to make any mistakes. So I go 18 times 6. I hope. It is, it's 108, so yay. So then I'm going to continue this on and figure out my last term that they wanted me to find, which in this case is the next guy. So I'm going to multiply that times 6 again, and I get 648, and there you go. Okay. If you know about me and my tables, I really like tables that kind of show off this multiplying by 6. So I'm going to kind of like add another column right here past all of this stuff. And I'm going to write it like this. I'm going to write, I got this by 3 times that 6, right? And I'm going to write this one as, again, 3 times, and then 6 times 6. Right? Because I like those 6s because that'll help me write my explicit term. It's going to help me write my recursive equation. And last but not least, I'm going to write this again as 3 and then times 6 times 6 times 6. Okay. With that being said, the 2 questions you should always be asking yourself is, what do you see here that's exactly the same? Okay. And hopefully you said this 3, and you're right. So my explicit equation is going to look like this. F of x is going to be equal to that 3. Now this 3, we like to call him the star of the show. Oh, no, sorry, not the star of the show. He is not the star of the show. My apologies. He's my 3. And you should know where else you should see him here, which is very different than an arithmetic sequence, right? And then the other thing that I see that's the same is all of these like 6s. So I'm going to put the 6s here. And this is actually the guy that I meant to say is the star of the show, because he shows up everywhere. He shows up here. He shows up everywhere. So then I have my 6, and then I'm going to try to figure out what my exponent's going to be. And if you've been doing this long enough with me, you understand to look for the exponent. You compare what your x value is. This is 3 compared to how many 6s I have, 1, 2. Oh, so that's just going to be n minus 1. Yes, sir, minus 1. So this is your explicit equation. Now, some of you are so good at this and so proficient at this, you know that this is your first term, 3. This is your common ratio or your multiplier, the star of the show I like to call them, 6, right? And this right here will toggle back between n minus 1, n plus 1, depending on what you see. Similarly, your recursive equation starts off very similar. You start off with the first term, and in this case, it's 3. And then we write out our equation, which looks like this, right? The next term is equal to, so this is how you write next term in math. Next term is equal to the previous term in math, which is n minus 1, times by 6. And again, I told you he's the star of the show. He'll show up again. So this is number 9. And so there's several ways to do that. This is me walking you through every single thing. Once you notice that this is a 6, and some of you don't even have to write out this table anymore. You're like, boom, write it there. Write this 6 to here. It's n minus 1. Let me check my answers. And it is really powerful for you to check your answers. So I'm going to walk you through that really quick. So if I wanted to check my answer, 3 times 6 to the n minus 1, I'm going to put it right here. And I'm going to check 3 and 108 because that's the term that they gave me. So I'm going to plug in 3 right here, right? And so 3 minus 1 is 2. So if I plug in 3 parentheses 6 close parentheses. Oh, where did my, oh, hold on a second. Clear this out. Sorry, I didn't see it. So 3 times parentheses 6 parentheses. Now to the is this button here on my calculator, to the. And then I'm going to do the 3 minus 1 I know is 2. And I'm really hoping that as I've plugged in 3, I'm going to get out this 108. Okay. So then I hit equals and I get 108. That means my answer is correct. All right. Hope that makes sense. Have a great day. Bye.